Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. It's your brother Joshua back with another quick coffee break and a quick exhortation for the brothers and sisters in the truth, right? And I just wanted to kind of give a little comfort to brothers and sisters that are in this walk and inform you that we as a people are afflicted with so many things, so many elements, so many demons, wicked thoughts, things that try to deter us from the faith of the Lord, try to bring us down, right? And try to make us walk contrary to the Most High. Because we wrestle with not flesh and blood, but spiritual wickedness in high places, right? And we battle every day. But the battle is not supposed to be fought alone, right? We're not supposed to fight the battle alone. We need a so-called right-hand man in this truth, right? We need faithful counterparts, friends, brethren, sisters in this truth to help us walk, right? Because a lot of times when we face the enemy alone, we're oftentimes buffeted or jumped or beaten down, and we lose sometimes. But it's better to have that faithful sidekick, right, for lack of better words, to help you prevail over the enemy in this thing, right? We oftentimes battle with our thoughts. We battle with so many different things, even on a physical level, that we just cannot tackle alone. And we need a faithful friend to help us and guide us along the way in this truth. It is the hardest thing, right, to keep fighting alone in the darkness when you seem to be losing more than you're winning along in your walk, right? And you don't have anyone around. And oftentimes, walking in this truth, we seem that it feels to us that we are alone. Whatever city you're living in or town or whatever, sometimes you feel like you're the only one in the walk because you're too far in between and you don't know anybody in the space that you're in, and you can't reach out to anyone, and you don't have anyone to talk to when you're going through certain things or get the counsel or whatever you may need, right? But here to tell you that you're not alone, right? We are all a family in this thing. We're all supposed to be one unit, right, in this walk and walking together. And it's a beautiful thing to know your brothers and your sisters in this truth, right? The like-minded ones that are walking after the same way that you're walking, right? Trying to reach that same goal, right? To serve Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man, at the end of the day, right? And when you're going through situations, it's always a beautiful thing to have someone to call upon in these last days, right? Because we all need it, right? So let me get a precept real quick in the book of Job, chapter 6 and verse 14. And it reads, "To him that is afflicted, pity should be shewed from his friend, but he forsaketh the fear of the Almighty." Right? So when you're afflicted, man, pity should be shown from a friend. You should have somebody that can see you and be sorrowful with you and can carry on the things that you have, right? And pick you up when you're down in your lowest parts, right? In your lowest situation, in your lowest moments in the walk. You should have a friend that is right there beside you, a faithful brother or a faithful sister that is going to pity you, man, right, when you're going through afflictions. It's a must in these things, man, right? Shalom, King. It's a must that you have someone beside you to walk in that perfect balance along with you, that can sorrow with you when you go through certain things, man. Because that person, that brother, that sister could very well gone through that same thing that you're going through and know how to counsel you or give you the proper precepts or whatever have you to allow you to get out of that dark space and into that light, to get you out of that situation and to guide you back to that place of peace, right? There's so many of us that have gone through certain things and we don't know who to go through because worldly people They can't tell you how to get through certain things. A physical doctor can't tell you how to get through certain situations, man, when it's a spiritual attack, right? They can only deal on certain levels, man, right? But the Lord is that proper physician that you should go through the scriptures to be able to get out of certain situations. And maybe that brother and sister have gone through similar situations as you that can be able to guide you through those things, man. Right? So let's get another precept real quick. Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 22, and verse 31, the classic, and it says, "And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thine brethren," man. Right? So Satan, man, has one job: to take you away from the Most High, man. To kill you. That's all Satan's job is to do. Is to keep you away from the tree of life. To keep you away from that everlasting life that is promised to you, man. To make you go off, to make you sin, to make you run contrary to the Lord and his laws and statutes and commandments, man. Right? But the Lord says, "Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, to sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee," right? "That your faith does not fail," man. And when he was strengthened, he said, "Strengthen when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren," right? So when you went through that similar situation, now look, I have the necessary tools to strengthen my brother now, man. I understand that similar situation that you're going through. Guess what? I know the proper medicine to give to you now to help you get out of that situation, that your faith don't fail. Because we understand that, man, you're not the only one going through the problem that you're going through, even though it seems as a lonely place sometime. And it seems like you are the only one that's going through these certain things, man. No, there's other brothers and sisters out there that's going through the same thing you are, right? Let's get another precept real quick on that. We're going to get back to that, right? Let's get a precept on that. See if I can find this. I think it's in 1 Corinthians, right? Chapter 10, it says, in verse 13, it says, "There have no temptation taken you, but such as common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that which ye are able, but with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear." So every man in this truth goes through similar things. You're not the only one going through the things that you're going through, even though you may think so, right? But he said, "There is no temptation taking you that such as common to man," right? So when that brother is going through certain things, he is now able, or should be equipped, to get you through those things, to strengthen his brethren, man. Right? Because like I said, a lot of times, man, you cannot fight that battle alone. Even though you're a man in this truth, sometimes you have a level of pride thinking, well, I can't speak out of what I'm going through, but I'm a man, I can handle that. And that's where you go wrong. What the Lord say, pride is the beginning of destruction, man. Paraphrasing, man. That's where you fail at, right? In that prideful state, thinking that you can take care of whatever that is befalling you alone, man. And that's not true. You can't do that. You need someone to be that defense for you, to fight for you, to have your back. You need that, right? Let's get a witness to that, right? Salakia. Like, let's get this witness real quick, right? It don't matter how tough you are, how old you are, how physically strong you are, whatever it is, man. On a spiritual level or a physical level, everybody needs somebody to have their back, man. Right? So this is the book of Sirach, chapter 6, and I'm going to start at verse number 14, and it reads, "A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such as one found a treasure, man. So a faithful friend is a strong defense. He's a strong tower against the evil, man, against whatever that's coming against you. Right? And it says, nothing do countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable. A faithful friend is a medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him, man. So a faithful friend is a defense, man, a tower, right? A mechanism against the enemy, man, a weapon, right? And we all need that weapon against the spiritual places, spiritual wickedness in high places, man. We can't do this alone, because you got to understand, when you go through spiritual attacks or anything, even in life, man, right? These things come in innumerable number. It's not just one demon coming to attack you, man. It's multiple. And they coming to jump you, to take you out the game, man. Right? So you have to be equipped with brothers that got your back on a solid level, man. Right? That mind wave is exactly like yours, man, to counteract these attacks, man, from the enemy. Right? Let's go back to the other classic, man. Let's get this in Ecclesiastes, man. Everybody knows this one. You should. Right? This is the book of Ecclesiastes, man. Chapter 4, verse 9. It says, two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he have not another to help him up. Again, if two lie together, they have heat. But but how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken, man. Right? So like I always make the analogy, man, when you have a hand and you have your fingers spread apart, man, a slap, yeah, it can be mighty, man. You can use that hand, right? It can be mighty. But when you have that fist, man, right? When you close that fist, when you come together with the brothers, man, it's a mighty fist, man. You can strike a mighty blow, right? You can't stand alone, man, by yourself. You have to align yourself with brothers that are on the same level as you, that's going to keep the commandments like you, man. That knows what the Lord requires of them, right? And is going to walk the same way you're walking to help you get through the same similar situations that they went through, right? Or even if they have not went through those things, able to give you that medicine to get you through those things, man, right? And to sorrow with you while you go through that, to know how it feels to go through certain things, man, right? Let's get another precept, man. Let's go to Sirach, man. All right, let's go to Sirach chapter 37 and verse 12. It says, but be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee when thou shalt miscarry, man. Right? So that's what you want to be. You want to be with a godly man that you know is going to keep the commandments, man, of the Lord. One that you know is doing the will of the Heavenly Father, man. Right? Because you can't go to a worldly brother a lot of times and get that advice that you need, man. Yeah, sometimes you might be able to go to your father that's not in the truth to get certain level of knowledge or understanding on certain things. But when it comes to the scriptures, man, come through the spirit, right? And really having the faith in the Lord, hey, man, your father can't help you, man. Right? Because he don't know the things properly to give to you, right, that are coming from the Lord, man. Because he might be in the church. He might be in the Christian church, man. He can't really give you that proper medicine that the Lord really has for you, man, because he does not know. Right? And even the most renowned men in our history, right, through the scriptures needed friends. Those that were really fervent in the truth, were mighty men in the faith. They even needed friends, man. Take Job, for instance. When Job was going through all the things he went through, was once a mighty man, rich, right? One that eschewed evil. man, and everything came against him, and the brother was losing faith and losing faith, man. He needed brethren to help strengthen him, man. Job was mighty, right? But when the time of his affliction came, it was hard for him to take it, right? He was strong for a certain dispensation of time. And when he kept going through it and kept going through it, man, hey, that faith got weaker, 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 man. It don't matter how mighty you are, man. Eventually, you're going to need that so-called kickstand to help you up, man. Right, let's get the real quick account in Job. Right, I'm going to get straight to the point. Right, let's go to Job, I think it's Job chapter 2. If I'm not mistaken. Job chapter 2. Right, when his friends came, let's see, it says, I'll just get to the point. Job chapter 2 and verse 13, it says, and this is when his friends came in, right, after his affliction, and they were mourning with Job. Right, it says, so they sat down with him upon the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and none spake a word unto him, for they saw that Salaki, and they saw that his grief was very great. So all his friends traveled in, man, right? And they knew. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and jump up. Right, let me jump up. Let's see. I'm going to jump up to verse 11. It says, now when Job's 3 friends heard of all these evils that was come upon him, they came every one from his own place. Eliphaz the Temanite, and Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Nemanite, right? For they had made an appointment to gather to come to mourn with him and to comfort him. Right? So they came from long distances to come comfort their friend because they heard of his afflictions, man, and what he was going through. And they said, and when they lifted up their eyes afar off and they knew him not, they lifted up their voice and wept. And they rent every one his mantle and sprinkled dust upon their heads toward heaven. So they sat down with him upon the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and none spake a word unto him, for they saw that his grief was very great, man. All right? So even Job, as mighty as Job was, man, he was afflicted and he was bound in his torments, and he needed friends to come and sorrow with him, man. Right? And Job was a mighty, mighty man. Right? So these things are written for your learning to know that, hey, even in your mightiest time when you think you're a mighty man of the Lord, right, and you're going through things, don't be prideful and try to take on those things alone, man. It's okay to reach out. You need friends. The most mightiest man that ever walked on the planet, man, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Shai needed friends. He needed the 12. That's why he had them to go with it. He needed the 12, man. Right? As mighty as he was, the Son of God, he needed friends, man. Right? Let's get an account real quick. Right? And we can jump straight to the point. Let's get an account real quick in Matthew chapter 26 and verse number I'll jump to the point. Verse 36. It's Matthew 26 and 36. It says, then cometh Yahushua with them unto the place called Gethsemane, and said unto the disciples, sit ye here while I go pray yonder. And he took with him Peter and 2 sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy, man. So even Christ was sorrowful and very heavy, man. Right? And it says, then said he unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry here and watch with me. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt, man. So even Christ was so sorrowful, man. He's praying to the Heavenly Father. Look, man, let this cup pass for me. I know I come to be put to death for these people. I know that I got to do this thing, man. If it's your will, let this cup pass for me. Let this thing go away from me, man. But nevertheless, it's not my will, it's your will, Father. Right? So even Yahweh Shai, man, he was going through it. The mightiest man that ever walked on the face of the earth, man. Right? How much more you? And you know he wasn't alone because he was walking with 12 mighty brothers. You know, he even needed those brothers to comfort him, right? It was needful for them to be there in his walk, right? So much you need brothers around you that's like-minded, that, hey, is going to sorrow with you, right? It's a needful thing for us to be here for one another, to fight this battle, that we won't be alone. Because, man, when that sinking ship come and you by yourself, man, look, if you can't swim, you're gonna drown, man. We need one brother that can do the backstroke, one brother that can do the butterfly, one that can float, right? And one that can kick his legs mighty, man. And we come together and we come one body, man, so we can get up out of this thing, man. Right? It's needful for us to lean upon each other in these times of trouble, right? To keep our head above water. Because, man, hey, sometimes, man, our mind will take us somewhere, man, that we ain't supposed to be. And we can fall by the wayside real quick when we by ourselves. That's the time when Satan comes to buffet you the most, when you're by yourself. You're the most vulnerable. That's like a lion, man, in the wilderness. If you ever watch National Geographic, man, if you see how lions hunt, lions are smart. They're mighty, mighty creatures. But what they do is they don't pick on the biggest, mightiest one unless they're just that hungry. But when they do that, when do they do it? When they're alone. They're going to come from the most vulnerable, the baby, the small one, right? Close to the newborn, the weakest. And when he's separated from his mother or the rest of the herd, hey, man, they coming in packs. They coming in droves. They seeking you. And they coming to take you out. The easy prey. That's how Satan works. When he moves you away from your brothers or your sisters, that's when he comes to attack. And that's when you know you got to get on that call. Look, reaching out. Satan is attacking. I need you. Right? And that's what we got to do. It's needful for us to be here for one another. Right? Let's get another precept real quick. Let's go to the book of Philippians real quick, right? Philippians chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse 21. It says, "For to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. But if I live in the flesh, this is the fruit of my labor. Yet what I shall choose, I would not." Right? So he says, man, to live, hey, man, it's a beautiful thing. But to die in Yahweh Shai, in Christ, is a gain, man. Because I can be away from this physical realm and go be with the Father, right? And it says, "For I am in a strait betwixt two, having a desire to depart to be with Christ, which is far better. Nevertheless, to abide in the flesh is more needful for you." Right? And it says, "And having this confidence, I know that I shall abide and continue with you all for the furtherance and joy of faith." So it's a beautiful thing for brothers to be here to help further along the faith of brothers, man, to help them keep their joy in this walk, because it's a hard thing sometimes. Sometimes it's rough. Sometimes you have good days, you have bad days. Sometimes you can be on fire and you can be in the scriptures. You can be very zealous, right, and be reading mighty, 10, 12 chapters a day, and sometimes you just feel like, man, hey, you're defeated, you beat down, you don't want to do nothing, man, right? But the Lord said, look, it is needful for us to be with you so we can help further your faith and your joy, man. Give you that so-called spark or that fire to help lift you back up and to get you there. It's needful for me to feed you, right? Iron sharper than iron, man, right? I'm going to give you a little bit of my oil, man, to fill you back up, man, to light that flame and catch you back on fire, right? Because a lot of times, man, hey, it's just the truth in this walk. Sometimes it gets hard and you're not always going to be on fire as you should be. You have ups and downs. That's why you have brethren in this truth, man, to put you on their back, per se, and walk across that line with you. Right? You ever seen those exercises that they do in the army, man, where they're going through these obstacle courses, man, and one of the guys are laying on the ground, and your job is to run over there and pick them up and throw them on your back and, hey, man, get across that finish line. That's what we have to do in this church, man, spiritually, right? In the truth, we have to put each other on our backs and get out, right, to the finish line, man. Sometimes we got to carry our brothers. Right, let's get this precept real quick. It says, Galatians 6:2. It says, bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ, man. We got to bear one another's burdens, man. Sometimes you got to put a brother on your back and bear his burden for him, man. Right? You got to sorrow with that brother. Sometimes you might have to stay up another hour talking and counseling a brother. Or if you got time to go hang out with your family, man, and a brother call you, man, and he's in the straight betwixt two, man, and he need that advice. Sometimes you got to take them few extra minutes, man, aside and, hey, man, give him that proper medicine to build him back up, right? You got to bear the burdens of your brethren, man, in this truth. So you fulfill the law of Christ, man. Christ came to say, hey, man, you show mercy to your brothers. Love your brothers, man, as yourself. That's what we're supposed to do. Right? Sometimes even when your brothers don't even know it, man, you got to send up some prayers for them. They may be going through stuff that they not equipped or wanting to tell you at that time because they still holding on to it. But guess what? You pray for that brother, man, that he can be healed, man. Right? Let's get the classic. Let's go to James, man, real quick. Get a couple more. Right? Let's get the classic. It's the book of James. Chapter 5 and verse 16, it says, confess your faults one to another and pray one for another that ye may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much, man. Right? And sometimes your brother might not confess his faults to you, man. Right? Sometimes he just might not, man. You know. But hey, prayer is a powerful weapon. Right? And we all fall short sometimes. We all make mistakes. We all do things that you know, we wish we didn't do. Right? And is not able to open up and confess that right away to their brothers, man. But at the same time, man, by you praying daily for your brothers, man, hey, you can uplift their spirit, man. And they don't even know where that strength came from, right? Or how they're able to continue in the faith, in the walk of a Mashiach Yahushua, because their brother's praying for them behind closed doors, and they never even knew it, because they've been very well may have been on their way out of the truth, that their flame could have been blown out, man, long time ago, or taken or put to death. But that brother is behind closed doors praying for his brethren, man, and the Lord is hearing that righteous man, and he's healing you because of that brother, man. And that's what we got to do is have that so-called, that's called charity towards one another. That's charitable, right? That not only helps your brother, it helps you out as well, man. It hides a multitude of sins for you as well, right? Because we balance off each other. These things bounce back and forth off of each other, man. We help our brothers, and we get them out of a jam, and guess what? At the same time, that's getting you out of a jam as well, right? Let's get another precept real quick. Salakia. Right? This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 4 and I'm going to start at verse number 7, and it reads, but the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover a multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man have received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Yahweh, man. Right? You receive that gift from the Most High. Hey, man, utilize that thing. Pray for your brothers. Give charity to your brothers. Show love and patience, long suffering, man. Prefer your brother with honor and love, man. Right? Be charitable towards your brother. That hides a multitude of sins, not only for him, but for you as well, man. And that's a beautiful thing. That's what this is about, man. Sometimes you might feel like you lost everything, but if you go 10 toes down for your brother and praying and strengthening and counseling and doing everything, man, due to your charity, man, can help you be built up and receive, hey, man, 10 times more than what you had before, man. Right? Let's get this last precept real quick. Let's go back to Job, right? And see what happened to Job, man. Right? Let's go to Job chapter 42 and verse 10, and it reads, "And the Lord turned the captivity of Job when he prayed for his friends. Also the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before," man. See that? Hey, man, the Lord can turn your captivity that quick, man. Take them demons off you, that stress, whatever it is that's coming against you, man. Because you prayed for your friends, man. You stood 10 toes down for your brethren, man. And he can double that which he has given you already, man. Through that charity and that love of your brethren, being that mighty friend through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. But with that, I hope it was edifying, man. Keep that in mind, to love your brother, love your neighbor as yourself, man, in this thing. And be that righteous man and be that righteous woman and that righteous friend to have your brothers back in these last days, right? But with that, Kum Yasha Allah and Shalom.